Namaste, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this new video by Voice of Plenty. It's Julia here, and today we will dedicate this journey to discover the ancient technologies of villas, of Italy, especially because you know I am from Italy, so I was able to direct visit these amazing places. But also we will see some other example in Europe in the end. So let's start, and we will start to discover today villas, ancient advanced hydraulic systems for energy production. And it's really amazing to start this journey because yeah, we have maybe visited many places about archaeology of ancient villas from Roman times maybe, or Greek times, or even Renaissance, and we have been told many things, but yeah, everything is just in front of our eyes, and maybe we have forgotten to see. So that's why here today we can go together to see what is really still there. And we start our journey from the period of ancient Romans. You know that the chronology is nowadays being rediscovered. So what we are saying Roman time, yeah, in my personal point of view, can be a little bit discussed. Anyway, the official chronology says Roman time, and I will just propose you the official date for this villa. That is 118 of this era after Christ. Anyway, it's very important also to be updated about the last proposal for chronology, and also to find the similarity between this kind of villas and the villas that we can see later, built with the same kind of materials and technologies. So that's why I suggest you to go on and to search more also about history. Anyway, today here we focus about water because this is my main topic for these videos, and here we are in Villa Adriana, Tivoli, in Tivoli, Italy, and this is one of the best examples of a Romance villa because it was the villa of the emperor. There is also another one that is very interesting. I was not able to put both. That is Piazza Armerina in Sicily. I chose Villa Adriana because we can see also how it was. Archaeologists made some reconstructions. And you still can see also here the paintings of the walls. So it's quite clear that from here, from these photos, that still can show how water was the main protagonist of this landscape. We can go back and we can see how it was this part of the villa. It was an island because you can see the bridge can also be removed. This is a wooden bridge that can be removed. So this part of the villa finally, it was like an island surrounded by living water, because it's important to remind that our ancestors were able to keep alive the water through processes of waterfalls and channels and interaction with magnetic fields, with electromagnetism. So this is what they were doing, and here we can see the columns with Ionic capitals. Please always pay attention to see the common elements of this same kind of architecture. So here we have the columns, we have the Ionic capitals, and this villa was, this part of the villa was totally as a circle, was circular. So we can say here it was for accumulation of the energy, and furthermore we will see different kind of shapes, but here it is really a circle. And the main part of the villa had also a very interesting fountain, circular semicircular fountain here, with like a theater. Today we will call this maybe a theater. The Greek theater was also made in the same way, with a lot of stairs. That's why it's very interesting to understand instead that this part of the villa was used for creating waterfalls with stairs. And the different levels were able to keep water alive. And you can see that maybe here inside there was also a kind of agriculture, like we have seen in Peru with Incas terraces. So here we have terraces and we have waterfall made with kind of stairs. Actually, the appearance is really like the one of the theater. Here there is the golden square, and again we have a water basin that is the prominent part, the prominent element of this part of the villa, and it's very, very huge water accumulation here. And another one, here we see the restored canopus as it was in the past, and in the background, now we'll go farther, we will see this amazing structure that they built there. Here again you can see the columns, here you can see another kind of a style of the capital. Anyway, again the same kind of structure. Here actually we have a double column here on the left. Maybe it was also on the right. Anyway, they put only on the left, maybe because it was the main entrance for going inside the structure. And again, a living water pool. And going towards here, we can see how it was beautiful also with colors and with this ceiling full of stars, the deepest part of the structure. So we have a smaller pool here, and you can see here the stairs again, this element of the stairs. This element of the stairs, if we go and if we see closer, we can see it was again a waterfall. Inside Serapeum, there were thousands of waterfalls. The ceiling with stars and waterfalls. And look in the background, these are again a very huge waterfall coming from above. Here we can see better. Can you imagine how it could have been to sit here with this waterfall? So this was not for doing meetings, because it's not possible to speak, to talk, if we are just next to the waterfall. The sound of water is too strong, so for sure here this reconstruction is a bit strange, how people were able to eat and to talk in front of this amazing waterfall. And here we see also the symbol of Neptunus and the trident that we see also in Indian culture connected with Shiva. So probably this was a place for something else. Anyway, the structure of the waterfall is really impressive. And look here. Here we are inside a library, and this library is built again on an island. It was probably the previous part, not the circular part of the villa. So also the place of knowledge was directly connected with water, surrounded by water. And the power of these villas, we cannot even imagine. Look at this painting from 1701. It is representing a water fountain in Roman villa. Look at the powerful water fountains coming from the soil, because the height of this water fountain is really incredible if you can compare with the height of people. So the technology of this kind of fountains, it was totally for us something mysterious and out from our contemporary possibility, because yeah, maybe we have just a few, but in any case I have never seen something like that. So a river, we can say an underground waterfall connected with artificial waterfall and fountains. So this is what remains of this Roman villa, because this is a painting of many many centuries later. In any case, yeah, it was my opinion that this painting can be connected with the Villa Adriana, because we know that the hydraulic system of Villa Adriana was so powerful. Anyway, Villa Adriana was built on a very important river. It was called Aniene. It is still called Aniene nowadays. And look at the waterfall, natural waterfall of this river, just in the part of the village. So the village was built on the river, or the waterfall was created artificially, because there is a very very huge wall here. It was created just there in order to have energy from the waterfall. This is always a very interesting question. It is the village built on the river, or it is the river built near the village? Because we know very well that man used to modify the rivers for using them as first of all ways with boats, but also for energy. So a waterfall like that, we can really imagine how much it is powerful. Please remember always that water is a conductor, so it's strongly connected with electricity. And again, another incredible painting here. Here we can see the same waterfall. This image is again about the same place, and there are some differences, because I feel this is a previous one, since here on the left we cannot see anymore the temple, that instead is still here. It seems from the period of the Romans, let's say, with these little bricks and arches are typical of also Roman conduction for water. And here the water is still more. You can see how many little waterfalls are coming. So probably in this part of the river Aniene, we can find something like the hydraulic system we have seen in Iran in the other video. They are very similar, with a lot of waterfalls, artificial waterfalls, and a huge one, and also water basin for the collection of the water, and many structures built around. Another image of the same place. Here you can see how it is different. Probably this can be a second one. This is the original first one, and this is another following period in which they changed again the appearance of the buildings around, but still you can see the huge waterfall. And still Van Vittel in 1700 he made this painting of Aniene River waterfall. So the waterfall was still there. We can still see the ancient part of the buildings from Roman time, and also this part is an arch. Probably there was a bridge here or something else. It was destroyed. Here there is a tower, and then a new part added. Anyway, here there is still the bridge, original from Romans, and here we can see some part of the buildings on the right and new parts. But the waterfall, again, the waterfall is still there. Now we will see what happened after this period, because this is how it is the waterfall today. And yeah, we can see still the bridge, This is the original bridge, but we cannot see anymore the waterfall. We cannot see anymore the water. Look at these original walls. When you see these kind of walls, they are typical of Roman time. And the question is, where is the water? So this is what we are doing today. We are removing the water. That was the main element in every ancient building and community. Anyway, let's go instead towards a new period of villas, because in Renaissance, what is called the Renaissance in Italy, we have very interesting examples of these energy factories, we can say, that were villas. And we start with the villas of Tuscany. Villa Castello is one of my favorite, because you can see how it was precise, the construction of the fountains. In front of the villa, we have a very huge fountain, you can see. So you enter inside the villa passing on the water, very big pool, divided with many little fountains. Then we can see two other pools here, symmetrical, and a very big one here, just in the last part of the villa. So we have to remember that all the ancient architects, they were considering to build the villa only nearby a stream, like a little river, that was able to create immediately a connection with channels, and they were building the channels, or maybe also they have built before the river. Anyway, these villas were huge places in which they were able to do a very high level of agriculture, just thanks to the using of living water. And look here, how much advanced the technology was about fountains. This is the fountain of animals inside Villa Castello in Florence, and you can see all the little fountains coming out from the floor. It's something really incredible. And also this grotta, this artificial grotta that they made here, and the amazing sculpture of the animal. Here we are in Villa Pratolino, Florence. Again, we have something very special. So look carefully at this map of the villa. Here, the villa is on the back, because the main part was the structure of the hydraulic system. So here there is a circular oval basin and another circular basin for the water, very big pool. Here, this is very huge, if you can think. It's like the villa itself as a surface. But what is more amazing is this fountain that is bringing in jumps, in little steps, gradually the water to the water basin. And here another small, another one smaller, and another one here. So we can see more clearly the detail here of this waterfall. This is an artificial waterfall created by man for bringing the water and keeping the water alive. And the villa was able really to produce energy from this kind of living water. That's why these waterfalls were so important and precious. And one last one is a Belvedere con PT. This is a very beautiful villa, and we can see the huge fountain here on the back. Look how it was huge. And again, a water pool here. And we start to see all the geometry of the garden that is very typical of these villas. I just added here also the pyramid terraces of Isola Bella, one of the best islands in the Maggiore Lake in Italy, because it's quite specific. Also here we can see again this kind of structure with terraces and the water around. So yeah, you can see in this specific painting how the structure is really perfect pyramidal with a lot of these yeah, like antennas maybe, or anyway this kind of structures for helping the working of the pyramid. So let's go on with the villas. Here we are in Villa Barbarigo in Veneto. And yeah, we go a little bit back because this villa is quite ancient. And you can see the beautiful fountain with the water basin. This is how it is nowadays, of course. And the big level of the fountain that is very high, and the structure that is bringing the water like a little waterfall in different jumps. But look at how it was amazing, the fountains. The fountains were built with a very beautiful hydraulic engineering for creating little jets of water, and it's really incredible how they were precise in creating these flows, these little rays of water. And the structure of the waterfall can be found in so many villas. Here we can see the first water chain. What is a water chain? Water chain, or in Italian catena d'acqua, is a waterfall that is coming like a little waterfall, like a tube, we can say, like a channel, going down in different levels, and in the end usually there is then a fountain like this, a place in which water was collected and used, of course, because water was activated during these jumps and then was collected and used inside the water pool. This is Villa Contarini Camerini in Veneto, and this is what remains of the original channel, but the pool was so amazing. You can see here in the original representation, a huge boats were able to go inside this channel, and there was an amazing fountain. I mean, this was something incredible. Villa Contarini was hosting very big exhibitions of ships. It was connected, of course, with Venice, so we can see how advanced it was, the building and the use of water. Here we are in Villa Cicogna Mosconi. We are in Varese, in the north of Italy, and we have another water chain, so-called, or waterfall, starting from the top of the hill and going down, and then there is, of course, the place for the collection of the water. And this is another example. Nowadays they removed the waterfall, or in any case maybe there was something natural, because also rain was able to create a stream. This is Villa della Porta Bozzolo, again in Varese, nearby the other one. So we can say this was a recurrent element of architecture of villa, this kind of waterfall. And about waterfall, we have a very special villa. It is in Como Lake, and here the stream flux of the waterfall that is just next to the villa change every 6 hours. What does it mean? It means that every 6 hours the flux, the power of the flux of this waterfall that is natural, we don't know, but Plinio, the historical from Roman time, he wrote already about this waterfall on Como Lake, and Also Leonardo da Vinci made a description of this same place. Probably this place was used for something very advanced because of the waterfall who was already there, and it was very, very ancient. And we can see many representation of the same place. Here we can see the waterfalls here seems a bit higher than in this painting. We can see anyway the terraces. We can see here the villa maybe has many levels, a bit more levels than in this painting. Anyway, we can see also the walls. And here it is nowadays. This is the villa, the waterfall disappeared. So again, the question is, where is the water? Anyway, there is still an internal flowing of the stream passing through the villa. In fact, the villa had also this amazing grotto, artificial grotto with the columns, again the same elements. So this is Villa Pliniana in Como Lake. And let's go to one of the other best villa, very, very powerful. That is Villa Aldobrandini in Frascati, nearby Rome. So we go back to Rome a bit later, following the official chronology. Here we see Villa Aldobrandini. That is a very huge building, and we enter inside one of the best part of the hydraulic system, that is this incredible waterfall stair. And you can see there are two columns on the top, and then waterfall is coming with many jumps that are activating the water, and then the water is collected in this pool. So we have many, luckily we have many representation of this incredible hydraulic system. You can see at the beginning there was also a fountain on the top of the columns, and then water was coming down with this spiral along the columns. Actually, this system was very advanced, and water was coming down from the stair, and people was able to directly go also through the water. And then there was this beautiful fountain made with a star. So probably here there is a very big pool. Then it was added another part. Here it is the original first project for this part, for this hydraulic system. Then it was added this other part. It is quite interesting because it is called the Theater of Waters. Theater of Waters, because many other fountains were added. You can see this amazing statue of Atlantis, and water is coming down around him, and also other fountains here around. Theater of Water. So here we have everything in this villa. The water stairs and the Theater of Waters. This is the original name. Theater of Waters, this is what remains after a long time, probably. This is a painting. We can see how the villa was totally abandoned or destroyed, and we can see here just very simple people going there for washing their clothes inside the fountain that still was working. This is the point. Still the fountain was working because the hydraulic system was working without any additional energy, because the energy was self-generated by this system. And you can see how it was still very high, the fountain. And people were going here between the ruins to wash their clothes, as it was also happening inside another amazing villa from Roman time, that is the one of Catullo on Garda Lake in Sirmione. Here there are some pictures. You can see nowadays, not nowadays, actually it's not working anymore, but yeah, still we have some pictures of the water coming from the waterfall. And Here it is the beautiful detail of the column made with spiral. And in this villa, there are many other hydraulic systems. That's why it's so interesting. There is this waterfall, again with jumps, and another water chain. Look at this water chain. It's really incredible how in the same villa they made two huge water systems, very, very much advanced. Here there is the picture of this system as it is nowadays, but you can see water was coming down from the stair in the middle. Nowadays they removed. And again in the same villa we find also a stream of these precious water, and very specific water, probably because the composition of water was full of minerals, and so it was very useful for health, first of all, of our body, for keeping our magnetic field of the body active and harmonious. So but furthermore also for being used as a mean for us bringing energy. So this was really important stream inside the villa, and it was called Water Algensiana, and it was coming from Mons Algidus, from a mountain. And here we had just inside this villa the possibility to use this water to do ablution, to use the water for any kind of purposes. Now we move to Villa Lante. We are again in the central part of Italy, Viterbo, and you can see the amazing structure with water. Also we had, now they're not working anymore, the boats inside this artificial lake. This is how it is from above, and look at the amazing symmetry of all the villa garden, and the water is in the center. Again we have a circle in the middle, and again we have the collection of the water in the pool. In Villa Lante we have also a water chain. So again another water chain. You can see how it was a recurrent. I'm sorry if I will present you always the same things, but I really would like to show you how these elements were central elements in our villas. Another water chain can be found also in Villa Lante, and it is just the same as the one we have seen some minutes before. And in Villa Lante we have this beautiful fountain called Fountain of Giants, and you can see again the jumps and the water basin for collection of water. Just for understanding how powerful was the water system of Vatican, here we can see the representation and image of the fountain called Fountain of the Rock in the garden Belvedere of the main palace of the Vatican. So you can really see how it was powerful, the water system here. And again this was the main fountain of Vatican Square. St. Peter main square had this fountain, very, very huge if you can compare with people. And another one here on the left, it was called Fontana Rustica fountain in the garden, the big garden of Belvedere. And it's really amazing to see the fractal shape of this fountain. There was the eagle on the top, and these spirals, the cornucopia, and the pine symbol here. The pine symbol, the mountains, and these two towers like lingams on the top, and then this fountain with this amazing sculpture of a ship. But the ship is a fountain itself, so if I remember well, it was created by a sculpture from Netherlands. Anyway, this is really a masterpiece, and we have a statue of this kind of statue we can always find nearby the fountains. If you remember, also we saw many before in the other villas of Neptunus, of something that is really connected with energy of water. And this is again the Vatican. Here we have the pine again, and here we have the fountain. Yeah, you can see, no, the connection between the pine and the fountain. It's really clear. They are just one in front of the other. This is the fountain in the square Trinità dei Monti, again in Rome, again a ship, again a very, very huge fountain. Now we move in another villa, Villa Reale in Marlia. We are in Tuscany, and you can see this villa was connected with a very big pool. One is here and one is here. And this is the picture as it is nowadays. We can see how it is nowadays. This part, this pool, the squared rectangular pool, very huge place for collection of water. And instead, this is Villa Madama in Rome, where you can see the beautiful waterfall coming down in different levels and collected in this fountain, in this very big pool. Here we are instead in Villa Mondragone. This is called the Fountain of Dragons, and yeah, Villa Borghese di Mondragone. We are in Frascati, nearby Rome again. You can see the columns, you can see always the fountain with different levels. Yeah, and it's very interesting to see the details of the sculptures of the dragons and this column made with different levels. Now we go back in the same places of Villa Adriana that we have seen as a first, because there is another amazing villa nearby Villa Adriana, and it is called the Villa d'Este. We are still in Tivoli, and Villa d'Este is unique for presenting a hydraulic system connected also with music. First of all, here we see the map. It was a very huge project of energy factory, as I call the villas. So we have a lot of fountains almost everywhere. But what is really amazing is that there is a road full of fountains. Now we'll see. This was called Viale delle Fontanelle. Fontanelle. So there were little fountains for all this route. Along all this road with many others, because here you can see, for instance, a waterfall coming down, another water stream here. It was really full of water everywhere. And here it is nowadays, what remains. You can see how it is totally abandoned, and now the plants are left everywhere because nobody took care anymore about these places for many, many years, or maybe they were also destroyed in part. And this was the incredible fountain of Bicchierone, big glass, you can say big cup. Look how high it was. How high it was the water fountain. And the shell was collecting the water, so it was really a masterpiece of art and engineering. Nowadays we can see what is left, but what is left is really, nowadays it's not working anymore. First of all, I went there, when I was there it was not working. Here maybe they open, but it was like that in the past. So what remains today is a bit different, okay? And it was probably also rebuilt. Anyway, here it is another fountain of the same Villa d'Este. You can see how it was huge also, this fountain, and this was typical with the statue, with the same statue that we can also find in the other villas. And this is how it is nowadays. This is called Ovato Fountain, Fontana dell'Ovato. And what is really incredible about this villa, as I told you at the beginning, is the connection between water and music, water and sound, because inside this villa there is a fountain that is called water pipe fountain, because the water was able to create music from a water pipe that was built inside the fountain, and the water falling down from this huge building, as you can see here, it was able to activate the water pipe, and sound was created by water. You can imagine how huge was the effect of these two energies, water and sound together, because water is receiving from the sound the vibration, sound is giving the information. Information means it's giving the shape, the form to the water. The water is absorbing the form from the sound, and it is then bringing with along the channels inside the pools, and it is connecting with other elements then. So the water pipe fountain is really something unique. We have just a few of these examples and of water pipe, and it was restored recently, but they had to simplify, we can say, the structure. Here we move in Villa Selvatico, again in the north of Italy. We are in Colle Sant'Elena. And you can see again the same structure of the villa on the top of the hill, the stairs. And here probably there was a water basin that we cannot see clearly. And this villa particularly was connected with a bath, because there were hot waters here. And again, the same villa. There was a very huge channel here with boats going nearby, and you can see the particular kind of dome of this villa. That maybe here is a bit different, but here is very clear. You can see how it was created with the central dome, and also in this other building, again, the same kind of antenna. Villa Selvatico as it is nowadays. It is totally changed, because probably here there was places for collecting the water, as it is usually done in this kind of villas. But the structure of the stair is still really very impressive. Now we move in Villa Garzoni in Collodi, again in Tuscany, and this is a bit later, 1652, following the official chronology. And look at the amazing garden here. There are two fountains here, other little fountains in this perfect symmetric pattern of the garden, and this amazing landscape here, created by bringing water down from the hill with waterfall again with many jumps. Here it is as it was in an ancient representation, and you can see the structure with many levels. And here again, a little bit closer, we can see on the top there was the water basin collected, and then the water was starting to go down. Here you can see the structure of the waterfall. It is still working in this picture. Actually, I don't know if nowadays, because it's not very recent, this picture, but the same structure of waterfall with jumps in this villa. And then we move in Villa Doria Pamphili in Rome. This is the prospect of the villa, of the garden. We have the two obelisks with the little antenna, golden antenna over them, and then the huge villa. The huge villa here, you can see the same kind of dome with a little antenna over them. And in Villa Doria Pamphili, we had huge, huge water pools with also the island in the middle with stairs for going over it. And this was the water fountain you can see on the background. Then there is this water channel, and then there is the fountain going directly inside the water pool. That was very big, because if you think this is a boat. And again, a kind of similar fountains like in Villa d'Este in Tivoli, like in Viale delle Fontanelle. Here again we have a road full of little fountains in which people was able to take water. Everywhere. So we can think how many people they were able to use this water system contemporarily. And this amazing fountain was part of the villa. Yeah, it is really beautiful with this high water level, and you can see if compared with people how it was big. So now we can do a little comparison with other structures in Europe, because we have been discussing about Italy specifically, because I made a very detailed research, but this kind of structures, they were everywhere in Europe, and not only in Europe. So for instance, this is a castle in Germany, and we have a typical waterfall stair. With at the top we have this beautiful building full of elements that are very important for collecting the energy. So we have the shape of the obelisk or dome with antenna, and then water was doing these jumps and collected in water basin. Again, in Germany, Sanssouci, this is what we can see nowadays, but we know they had a very advanced hydraulic system, and we can still see the fountain for the collection after the terraces. I don't want to spend any words about Versailles, because Versailles is one of the best advanced water system that we have in Europe. And we still have also the site in which they were starting all the process of bringing water to Versailles. Nowadays, it's not possible anymore, because the same water nowadays is going to other cities. But this was the idea of Versailles. It was a place of water. There was water almost everywhere, fountains almost everywhere. And one last view about a very similar place. Here we are in Russia, in Petersburg. And in this palace you can see the same idea of a waterfall with many jumps. And please remember that what you can see nowadays most of the time is not the original landscape and the original structure of hydraulic system, because this is how it was the villa, and this is how they rebuilt. So you can see the fountain as it was in the past. You can see the water coming down from the stair, and instead here it's totally different. So please always, if you can, ask for the past images of the same place when we are talking about fountains and hydraulic. So thank you very much for joining, and I hope this travel inside our past was able to inspire you as it inspired me. And I will go on with further topics and journeys together inside the living water. Namaste. Thank you for joining. See you next time.